Colorado High School Activities Association baseball is on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. From Sterling, Colorado, the Fort Morgan Mustangs face the Sterling Tigers. Good afternoon. I'm Kevin Fergus. Christy Creighton on the board back at the station in Fort Morgan. We've got baseball, beautiful baseball, blue sky, and game time temperature is 80 degrees. I've seen up to 84 already, but it's 4 o'clock as the day starts to carry on. The Mustang starting lineup is brought to you by B&B Appliance. With over 30 years of experience, B&B Appliance can help match the appliances to your needs. Stop by 502 Ensign Street in Fort Morgan. Cooper Chisholm will step in. I'll run through their lineup as we go. The first pitch is brought to you by Buildings by Design. First impressions are important. Buildings by Design will make your vision a reality. Visit buildsbydesign.com. Dayton DiOrio, Kasem Banford, the battery for the Sterling Tigers. First pitch, low to Cooper Chisholm. Cooper Chisholm steps in from the left side, and that lines the base hit. Well, nope. Grounder over to shortstop Dempsey. Dempsey over to Garcia for the first out. Isaiah Ortiz comes to the plate. 6-3 on that ground out by Cooper Chisholm. Isaiah Ortiz steps in from the right side for your Mustangs. Ortiz will hit second. Elric will hit third. DiOrio looking over the top of his glove, the pitch. And that ball down the third base line, just inside the fair line, and he's just going to round first for a single. Hard grounder past the third baseman. Riley Elric comes to the plate. Prouty will be the designated hitter, hitting fourth. Davila will hit fifth. Carrera will hit sixth. Ortega will hit seventh. Lopez will hit eighth. And Urias will hit ninth. Luis Hernandez will be on the hill for the Mustangs today. Ortiz leads off. Pitch upstairs to Riley Elric. A ball. DiOrio from the stretch. The pitch upstairs. Same spot as it was previous. 2-0 to Riley Elric. Pitch on the inside part of the plate. 3-0 to Riley Elric, the sophomore for the Fort Morgan Mustangs. DiOrio the pitch. Outside corner for a strike. Elric was taking the whole way. Elric hitting .375 for the Mustangs. 9 hits, 9 RBIs, 10 base on balls. Pitch on the outside corner. Strike 2. Full count to Riley Elric. Isaiah Ortiz leads off at first with a base hit. And he takes off on the pitch. Strike out. And throw him out. Wow. Elric strikes out, and the throw down by Bamford to Robbie Carrasco, who puts a tag on. So no runs, 1 hit for the Mustangs. Nobody left on base, and there were no errors. So after 1/2 inning of play, Fort Morgan 0, Sterling coming to the plate. We're back to Sterling High School, where the Fort Morgan Mustangs face the Sterling Tigers. Sterling Tigers 4-1 on the season, and they are 1-0 in the league. And Fort Morgan is 5-5, and they are 0-1 in league. For the Mustangs today, Jaden Carrera will be in left, Angel Lopez in center, Samson Ortega will be in right field. Miguel Davila will be the third baseman, Cooper Chisholm the shortstop, Isaiah Ortiz the second baseman, Frank Urias is the first baseman. Riley Elric is behind the plate in today's game, and Luis Hernandez is on the hill. Luis Hernandez, 3.15 ERA. Record is 0-0 in 13 and a third innings pitched. He has 11 base on balls and 12 strikeouts. Now they've got the batter coming to the plate, Dayton DiOrio. Dayton DiOrio hitting .412 for the Tigers. Tigers didn't start their season until a little bit later. That pitch was low to DiOrio. Everybody else had games played before the state basketball tournament was completed on March 15th, but Sterling's first game wasn't until the 22nd. Pitch to DiOrio, a strike, count evens at 1. The Mustangs play Sterling today, and they play Alameda tomorrow. That pitch is upstairs. Luis Hernandez behind the count, 2 balls and a strike to Dayton DiOrio. The offering on the way, curveball, swung at and missed. Strike 2, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bottom of the first inning, no score. Sterling will go to Brush tomorrow, and they will play the Brush Beat Diggers at 11 a.m. And that pitch swung at, fouled off at the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Tigers will face the Beat Diggers at 11 in Brush, and that game will be on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Luis Hernandez, the pitch just outside. Full count to the first hitter for the Sterling Tigers, Dayton DiOrio. Full count. As I mentioned, beautiful day. The pitch from Hernandez, and that ball over to the third base dugout. Foul. Pitch from Hernandez, payoff, swung at, and just fouled barely at the plate by DiOrio. Stays alive. The payoff pitch, 3-2 from Luis Hernandez to Dayton DiOrio. The offering, swung at and missed, foul tip, strike 3. 1 out in the inning.
Up next to the plate, number 2,
Memphis Dempsey for the Tigers comes to the plate. Dempsey's hitting .444 on the season, 8 hits. If he gets on base, a threat to run, 4 stolen bases. The pitch from Hernandez. And that ball lined out to left center field. 1 hop, 2 hop to the left fielder. And Memphis Dempsey on at first base with a base hit. So no hitters today.
Up next to the plate, number 4.
Kason Bamford comes to the plate. Catcher for the Sterling Tigers. He's hitting .211, 5 RBIs on the season. Sterling with just the 5 games played. Their league game that they played was against Liberty Common, and they beat Liberty Common 9-3. 2-step, 3-step lead at first for Dempsey. The pitch upstairs to Bamford, the senior for the Sterling Tigers, the catcher. I've always thought that Bamford was a tough out. Hitting .211 doesn't show it so far, but the season is early. Luis Hernandez getting a good look. And the pickoff, safe at first. Hernandez on the pitcher's mound. The rubber gets a sign from Riley Elrick. The pitch just outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Kevin Fergus on B106 and Eastern Plains Sports Network today. Fort Morgan Mustangs, Sterling Tigers hooking up. I can't keep track of all these leagues. And, Fort Morgan is in 4A, but they're in the Patriot League. Pick off over to first. Dempsey back in safely. There was a time in my life when I would try to keep track of all that as to what association each team is in the league, but it's difficult. And that pitch high, and the throw down to second as Dempsey steals second base, safe. So 3-0 to Kason Bamford. Dempsey with a stolen base. scoring position, 1 out. Bottom of the first, Riley Elric goes out and talks to Luis Hernandez. Three balls, no strikes, 1 out. Dempsey on at second for the Tigers. Bottom of the first inning, no score. The pitch from Hernandez in the dirt, and Bamford down to first base. Looks like Bamford's going to run for himself. No courtesy runner for the catcher for the Sterling Tigers. I think Bamford has good speed. Oftentimes you have a catcher that not quick as a foot, and they usually use the courtesy runner. Ethan Falzine comes to the plate. Falzine hitting .357. He does have a home run on the season, but he also leads the team in hit by pitches with 3. First and second, 1 out. Hernandez, the pitch, and pick off to center field. He throws the ball, and Dempsey goes to third. So an error on the Mustangs on the pickoff, and Dempsey takes third on the pitcher. So first and third, 1 out. Falzine, the senior cleanup hitter for the Sterling Tigers. See what the Mustangs can do, being able to get out of the inning. A double play would be great. 6-4-3. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Luis Hernandez, the pitch. Strike on the outside corner. Ahead in the count to Ethan Falzine. Two-step lead at first for Bamford. And he's back as Hernandez steps off, takes a look around at the surroundings. Hernandez takes a look at first. Riley Elric, the pitch. Pitch is upstairs. Count evens at 1. Luis Hernandez gonna fight this all the way through. 1 ball, 1 strike, 16 pitches, 8 strikes, 8 balls. The pitch, curveball, fouled down the left field line. Strike 2. One ball, 2 strikes. Falzine taking his time at the plate. Checking himself, steps in. Runners at first and third for Sterling. Bottom of the first, no score. The pitch, and that ball fouled back and over the screen. On the pitch, Bamford was off. He'll trot back to first base. Sterling's team batting average, .326. 5 games, they have 13 stolen bases. So that gives you a little bit of an indicator that they do like to run. Bamford leads off at first. The pitch, swung at and missed. Took a little bit off that pitch. Strike 3. Swinging.
Now up to bat.
Hernandez with a strikeout.
Number 22,
Robbie Carrasco comes to the plate, hitting .438. Carrasco with 7 hits, 6 RBIs, 4 base on balls. Carrasco wearing number 22, Sterling in their home whites with black lettering and orange piping. And that ball fouled at the plate. Bamford was off with the pitch, but fouled, so he'll trot back to second base. Or he'll trot back to first base. 2 outs in the inning. Both teams with a hit. Here in the first inning. Pitch from Luis Hernandez on the way. The pitch is upstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike to Robbie Carrasco. Carrasco playing second base today for the Sterling Tigers. Bamford leads off at first. 1-1 pitch. Luis Hernandez, the offering on the way. Strike. Delayed call by the umpire. Took a good look at it. Carrasco's not a tall guy, so he just wanted to make sure, hey, was that in the zone? Yes, it was. Cross the plate? Yes, it was. Strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Robbie Carrasco. Runners at first and third. See if Bamford is taking off with a pitch, and off he goes. And the pitch is in the dirt. So Bamford on at second on the ball that was in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two outs. Bottom of the first inning, runners at second and third. Carrasco with 6 RBIs on the season leads the team. Pitch from Hernandez. Strike 3, looking for Sterling. No runs, 1 hit. There was 1 Fort Morgan error. There's 2 runners left on base after 1 complete inning of play. Fort Morgan 0, Sterling 0. You're listening to Mustang Baseball on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Mustang Baseball on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. It's First Responder Day at Sterling Tigers Park. They have, I don't know, there's probably several policemen and first responders, EMS personnel, and they're here, and great honor for them. Nathan DiOrio takes his last couple warm-up tosses. Miguel Davila will come to the plate for the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Miguel Davila hitting .238 on the season. 3 hit by pitches. Davila is the third baseman for the Mustangs. Miguel Davila, Jaden Carrera, Samson Ortega here in the top of the second inning.
Start the inning for the Mustangs. Number 19, Chase Prouty.
Oh, Chase Prouty. Since we had a strike him out, throw him out. Chase Prouty comes to the plate. Pitch to Prouty, a ball. Ball hit by Prouty down the left field line, foul, out of play. Count evens at 1. I think Prouty hit a car down the left field line. That ball goes foul. Sterling, they park their vehicles around the field. Dayton DiOrio, the 1-1 pitch on the way. Curveball inside. The 2-1 pitch. Strike the knees, outside corner, 2-2 to Chase Prouty. That pitch is in the dirt. Bamford covers it up. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Chase Prouty. Prouty hitting .433 on the season, 13 hits. Pitch. And that ball, base hit down the left field line. Left fielder picks it up, and Prouty with a single on at first.
Up next for the Mustangs, number 6, Miguel Davila.
Miguel Davila will be the hitter. Runner on at first, Prouty for the Mustangs here in the top of the second. DiOrio from the stretch. The pitch, and that ball hit to the third baseman. Out, and out at first. Umpire called him out. So we had a line out and then a throw from the third baseman to the first baseman for the double play. Wow. So line drive, out. hard line drive. Third baseman to the first baseman. And the runner at first is forced out. So Prouty. So coming to the plate, Jaden Carrera. Yorio, the pitch, strike, outside corner, belt high. Yorio peering over the top of his glove, the pitch, took a little bit off. Breaking ball just broke a little bit low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike to Jaden Carrera, the pitch, and that ball fouled down the right field line, out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Oh, the umpire says 2 balls, 2 strikes. I didn't think I missed a pitch. 2-2, 2 outs. Pitch, and that ball fouled up and out of the way, out of the field. Jaden Carrera hanging tough. Mustangs with 2 hits, but nothing to show for it. 1 in the first, 1 in the second. The pitch swung at and missed. Strike 3. So for the Mustangs, they did have a hit in the inning, but there were no runs and there were no Sterling errors and there's nobody left on base. So after 1.5 innings of play, Mustangs 0, Sterling Tigers 0. You're listening to Mustang Baseball on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Bank of Colorado, they believe in keeping things simple. Apply for a loan you need for your dream home fully online. Visit bankofcolorado.com for all the information today. Ian Denning will come to the plate for the Sterling Tigers in the bottom of the second inning. Luis Hernandez, 24 pitches in the first inning, 14 strikes. Ian Denning hitting .300 on the season. I think he's a designated hitter for today for the Sterling Tigers. Luis Hernandez, Riley Elrick, the battery today for the Mustangs. The pitch outside to Ian Denning. Hernandez, the full windup. Bottom of the second inning, no score in Sterling. The pitch, and that ball hit out to center field. And Lopez is back to his left, about 5 steps, and a running catch over his shoulder for the out. Nice play by Angel Lopez in center field. Ethan Tyne comes to the plate, and this must be his first at bat for the season because I just got a big fat 0 for Tyne, but a senior nonetheless for the Sterling Tigers playing right field. 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Luis Hernandez, the offering, took a lot off that pitch. Breaking ball. Strike 1. Tyne swings over the top of that curveball. Luis Hernandez gets a sign from Riley Elrick. Pitch. And that ball hit out to left field. Jaden Carrera 4 steps in and to his right. Squeezes like a can of corn for the out. Pop up to the left fielder. Makes out number 2. Luis Hernandez, this is perfect for the Mustangs. They have the game tomorrow against Alameda. Be great if Hernandez would be able to go deep into this game. Connor Gamalik comes to the plate, hitting .222 for the Tigers. And that pitch in the dirt. Hernandez took quite a bit off that pitch, breaking ball, but in the dirt. Gamalik didn't offer, so ball 1. Luis Hernandez, the offering, and that ball past the third base and down the left field line, and Gamalik is going to have a stand-up double. 2-out double for Connor Gamalik on the hard line drive down the left field line. Aiden Ortega comes to the plate, hitting .455 for the Tigers.
Up next to the plate, number 3, Aiden Ortega.
Fort Morgan playing defense straight up. Right fielder's going to come in about 6-8 steps. Luis Hernandez, the sign from Elric, the pitch. And that ball hit out right field. That's going to score a run as Gamalik around third and scores. The ball skips past Riley Elric. And on the throw, on the single, then Aiden Ortega with the RBI goes into second base. A single and RBI.
Up next to the plate, number 28, Dayton Diorio.
Dayton Diorio at the plate. Tigers with a 1-0 lead, and the ball hit by Diorio out to right field. And 3 steps to his left, and Samson Ortega squeezes that for the out. So Fort Morgan scores, Sterling scores 1 run on 2 hits. And there was 1 runner left on base. After 2 complete innings of play, Sterling 1, Fort Morgan 0. You're listening to Mustang Baseball on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Okay, we're back. Kevin Fergus with you at Sterling Tigers Field in Sterling, Colorado. Sterling with a 1-0 lead over the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Samson Ortega, who comes to the plate here for the Mustangs. Ortega hitting .269 on the season. He's been hit by the pitch 3 times as part of his senior season. Dayton Diorio on the hill for the Tigers with 2 strikes. That pitch, check swing, strike by Samson Ortega. Dylan Diorio, pitch number 23. That ball grounded, 2-hopper over to the third base, over to first base. Ethan Felzine to Caleb Garcia, 5-3 on the putout.
1 out. Up next to the plate, number 1, Angel Lopez.
Angel Lopez comes to the plate. Senior for the Mustangs. Lopez hitting .250 on the season. Diorio, sign from Bamford, the pitch. Swung at and missed, strike 1. Dayton Diorio, 24 pitches, 16 strikes. 8 balls, the pitch, swung at and missed. So 25 pitches, 17 strikes, 8 balls by Dayton Diorio. Angel Lopez in the hole. 0-2. Diorio with the sign, the pitch. Strike 3. Looking.
Strikeout by Diorio. Up next to the plate, number 7, Frank Urias.
Frank Urias will come to the plate. Diorio the pitch. And that ball grounded towards shortstop. Dempsey picks it up, throws. 6-3 on the putout. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. 1-2-3.
1-2-3 inning by the Tigers. The score remains
Tigers 1, Mustangs 0 after 2.5 innings of play. You're listening to Mustang Baseball on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Kevin Fergus with you at Sterling High School Field, where the Sterling Tigers have a 1-0 lead over your Fort Morgan Mustangs. Luis Hernandez is on the hill for the Mustangs. Fort Morgan has 2 hits on the day. Sterling has 3. They were able to produce a run last inning off Fort Morgan Mustangs trail the Sterling Tigers as we go to the bottom of the third inning. Memphis Dempsey will lead off for the Sterling Tigers. Dempsey had the base hit in the bottom of the first inning for the Tigers.
The first batter at the bottom of the third will be number 2, Memphis Dempsey.
Memphis Dempsey steps in. Luis Hernandez on the hill. 32 pitches through the first 2 innings. The pitch. Pitches outside to Dempsey. Fort Morgan Mustangs today wearing their road grays, maroon pinstripes, black sleeves. The pitch. Fouled down the right field line by Dempsey. And out of play. Count evens at 1. Luis Hernandez, a sign from Elric. Curveball just outside. Elric stretched out, got really, really low. Set up a good target. Just outside, 2 balls and a strike to Dempsey. And that ball hit out to center field. Angel Lopez back and to his right with the catch. Umpire confirms it. Out, center field.
Up next for the Tigers, number 4, Kason Bamford.
Kason Bamford comes to the plate. Bamford walked his first at bat. Pitch from Hernandez just outside. Ball 1. 1 out here in the bottom of the third inning. Tigers with a 1-0 lead over your Fort Morgan Mustangs. Hernandez, the pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt. 2-0 to Bamford. The offering from Hernandez. Ball 3. Bamford just must have a strike zone where strikes cannot be thrown. Hernandez threw a strike to Bamford his first time, but he walked him. 5 pitches this time. Pitch outside corner. Strike taking all the way. 3 balls and a strike. 1 out here in the bottom of the third inning. Sterling Tigers with a 1-0 lead over your Fort Morgan Mustangs. The pitch swung at and missed. Strike 2. Full count. Luis Hernandez pulled the string on that one. Took a little bit off. Bamford was out on his front foot. The payoff pitch, the 3-2 on its way. Strike 3. Looking. Nice pitch by Luis Hernandez for strikeout number 2. Strikeout looking. 2 outs in the inning. Ethan Felzine comes to the plate. Felzine struck out his first at bat. Hernandez, the pitch. Took a little bit off, but the pitch came in high. 1 ball, no strikes to Ethan Felzine. Sterling Tigers 1-0 over the Fort Morgan Mustangs today. The pitch from Hernandez outside. I'll catch it all the way to the backstop. I'm sitting right on the fence. There were 4 other radio stations up in the booth. There was no room for me when I showed up. It's like, well, we'll sit down here on the field. We do it in brush. It's a different perspective, but nonetheless, it can be done. The pitch just outside. 3 balls, no strikes to Ethan Felzine. Felzine, a senior for the Sterling Tigers. Not much of a breeze. Flag is hanging limp. The pitch. And that ball on the 3-0 fouled off by Felzine to the Sterling dugout. 3 balls and a strike. Robbie Carrasco is on deck. And that ball hit out to center field. Angel Lopez, 2 steps to his left, squeezes it, can of corn. 1-2-3 inning for the Sterling Tigers in the bottom of the 3rd inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. After 3 innings, Sterling 1, Mustangs 0. You're listening to Mustang Baseball on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. We're back to Sterling High School, where the Fort Morgan Mustangs are facing the Sterling Tigers. The Sterling Tigers have a 1-0 lead over the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Cooper Chisholm, leadoff hitter for the Mustangs, will be leading off here in the top of the 4th inning. Dayton DiOrio finishes up his last warm-up toss. Kasem Bamford down to second base. Somewhat, they throw it around the horn. Cooper Chisholm will step in, hit from the left side. He grounded out his first at bat. Can't start until the umpire gets over here behind the plate. He was taking a water break. It's warm. It's warm today. It's over 80 degrees. Beautiful day for baseball, though. Pitch from DiOrio. The pitch. Ball grounded towards Dempsey at short. Picks it up over to first. 6-3 on the put out. 1 pitch, 1 out. On the hard grounder by Cooper Chisholm, Isaiah Ortiz comes to the plate. Ortiz with a single, his first at bat, and that pitch, a ball. DiOrio, the offering, in the dirt. 2 balls, no strikes to Isaiah Ortiz. Pitch right down Broadway, strike 1. 2 balls and a strike to the junior Isaiah Ortiz, playing second base today. That ball hit towards Dempsey at short, picks it up on 3 hops over to first to Garcia. 6-3 on the put out. 2 outs in the inning. Riley Elrick comes to the plate for the Mustangs. Elrick struck out his first at bat. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning. The pitch from DiOrio took a little bit off, pulled a string, strike 1, as Elrick swings through that pitch. DiOrio, the offering, that ball in the dirt, gets underneath the catcher's glove, comes all the way back here to the wall, the fence, just to the left of where I'm sitting. DiOrio, the pitch, and that pitch to the wall. 2 balls and a strike to Riley Elrick. Pitch, strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning. Sterling with a 1-0 lead, and the pitch just outside. Boy, I tell you, if you take your eyes off of Dayton DiOrio and you're not ready, he is ready to go. He's ready to fire. Mustangs need to step out on this guy. Elrick with a single to left field as Connor Gamalik lets it bounce in front of him. So Elrick on at first with a single. Chase Prouty, the designated hitter, today comes to the plate. For the Mustangs, we do have a courtesy runner, number 10. I know that is Jordan Perez. Jordan Perez will be the courtesy runner for Riley Elrick, the catcher. Chase Prouty to the plate. Prouty had a single, his first at bat. The offering upstairs to Prouty, ball 1. Dayton DiOrio from the stretch. 3-step lead for Perez at first. The pitch. Upstairs, ball 2. That was pitch number 40 for Dayton DiOrio. Out of those 40 pitches, 25 strikes, 15 balls. 2-0, 2 outs. Runner at first for the Mustangs. DiOrio, the offering. And that pitch fouled off at the plate. 2 balls and a strike to Chase Prouty. Jordan Perez with a 2-step lead, short lead. And that ball fouled off the catcher and to the backstop. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning. Runner at first, Jordan Perez running after Riley Elric. The base hit. DiOrio, the pitch. And that ball, 2-hopper to Felzine at third. And off the first baseman, Garcia. So the throw was a little bit off. Prouty legs it out for getting on base on the air. But the error on the third baseman. And with that, Perez moves to third base. So runners at first and third. Miguel Davila to the plate. Davila 0 for 1 today. Prouty with a 2-step lead at first. Perez 2-step lead at third. Pitch to Davila. A strike. Belt high. Outside corner of the plate. Josh Langford, longtime head coach for the Mustangs, gives his signs to Davila. DiOrio, the pitch. Pitch is upstairs to Miguel Davila. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning. The Mustangs have something rolling here. Runners at first and third. Perez on at third. Prouty on at first. The pitch. Pitch on the outside corner. A strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the throw from the catcher past the pitcher and into center field. And Perez comes in and scores. So we have the error. Oh, let's see. Let me back out of here. Error. Catcher. Pitch a ball. Two balls, 2 strikes, and that ball hit out 2-hopper, 3-hopper to the second baseman Carrasco over to first base to Garcia and picks it up. 4-3 on the putout. So for the Mustangs, they score 1 run on 1 hit. There was 1 Sterling error. There was 1 runner left on base. So after 3.5 innings of play, the Mustangs scored 2 runs.
Your Sterling Tigers won.
The Mustangs scored 1 run on 1 hit. There was 1 Sterling error. There was 1 runner left on base. After 3.5 innings of play, Fort Morgan won, Sterling won. You're listening to Mustang Baseball on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Fort Morgan Mustangs, Sterling Tigers tied up halfway through this game. Luis Hernandez on the hill for the Mustangs. Mustangs were able to score 1 run on the Sterling error in the top of the 4th inning. Robbie Carrasco comes to the plate.
First to the plate in the bottom of the 4th inning, number 22, Robbie Carrasco.
Luis Hernandez, 47 pitches on the day, 27 strikes. Carrasco to the plate. Hernandez assigned from Riley Elric. The offering, and that ball popped up in the infield. First baseman Frank Urias over and in fair ground makes the out on the pop out.
number 16, Ian.
Ian Denning comes to the plate. Ian Denning at the plate, swings at the first pitch. The ball was in the dirt and out of the zone, but Denning swings at it anyhow. Mustangs 1 run on 3 hits. Tigers 1 run on 3 hits. And that pitch on the outside corner, a strike. Luis Hernandez, 50 pitches, 30 strikes. 60% strikes from Luis Hernandez today. That pitch swung at and missed. Ball in the dirt. Elric to Urias at first for the out.
Up next to the plate, number 11, Ethan Tyne.
Ethan Tyne comes to the plate. Tyne flew out to left field. His first at bat, Luis Hernandez, the pitch. Outside corner, a strike. Umpire's been fairly consistent today with balls and strikes. Sitting field level. Eye level's probably about the same height as Riley Elric. That pitch, a ball. Count evens at 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Ethan Tyne. And that ball, base hit out to left field. Nope. It hung up in the air long enough for the out. So 1-2-3 inning for Luis Hernandez. No runs, no hits, no errors. Fort Morgan won. Sterling won after 4 complete innings of play. You're listening to Mustang Baseball on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Fort Morgan Mustangs, after 4 complete innings of play, 1-1, as Mustangs scored a run in the top of the 4th. Sterling Tigers scored 1 in the bottom of the 2nd. For your Mustangs, single to right field by Jaden Carrera.
Up next to the plate for the Mustangs, number 20.
First pitch swinging. The ball just up and over the first base in front of the left fielder, down the right field line. Samson Ortega comes to the plate. See if the Mustangs have something going on here. 1-1 game between Fort Morgan and Sterling. The pitch, a strike, right down center cut, belt high to Samson Ortega. Dayton DiOrio, the pitcher for the Tigers. That's pitch number 50, strike. Ahead in the count. Out of those 50 pitches, 34 strikes, 16 balls. Luis Hernandez basically in the same ballpark as Dayton DiOrio. The 0-2 pitch, and that ball fouled to the screen. Fort Morgan won, Sterling won. Dayton DiOrio, the sign from his catcher, Kason Bamford, steps off the back of the rubber and takes a look at Jaden Carrera. Carrera off with the pitch. Umpire's going to have to make a call here. He's going to go out and check with his base umpire. Carrera was off with the pitch. The pitch apparently hit the batter. Samson Ortega came off his helmet. Okay, Ortega is going to take first base on the hit by pitch. So runners at first and second.
For the Mustangs, number 1,
Angel Lopez will step in. Nobody out here in the top of the 5th inning. Runners at first and second. Carrera at second, Ortega at first, Lopez at the plate. Diorio, the offering, and that ball bunted down the third baseline. Diorio picks it up, throws over to first, and safe at first. Sacrifice bunt, but it worked out great for a base hit as it's a single. Bases loaded for the Mustangs. Nobody out here in the top of the fifth inning. Sterling Tigers just gather around the hill. Coach just leaving it up to the players in order to do what they need to do. Frank Urias comes to the plate. Stubbs Gas and Oil, one-stop shopping does exist. Gas, food, and all your travel accessories. Get off I-76 at exit 66A in Wiggins to visit them. Diorio, the sign from Bamford. The bases loaded. Nobody out. 1-1 game. The pitch. Outside. Ball one to Urias, top of the order. Cooper Chisholm on deck for the Mustangs. They'll have something cooking. Josh Langford will really be doing his coaching best at third base. Pitch a strike. Outside corner at the knees. Count evens at 1. Diorio, the offering. That pitch, strike outside corner. Diorio and the Tigers ahead in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Frank Urias at the plate. Carrera at third, Ortega at second, Lopez at first. The pitch upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bases loaded. Mustangs can break this game wide open here. Nobody out. Top of the fifth inning. 2-2. The pitch. And that ball swung at and missed. Strike 3. That's third strikeout for Dayton Diorio as Frank Urias swings through the pitch. Everybody stays right where they are. Cooper Chisholm comes to the plate.
Number 11, Cooper Chisholm.
Chisholm 0 for 2 on the day. Grounded out twice to the shortstop. Now the coach comes out, talks to the charges at the mound, and all the runners will go down and talk to Josh Langford. Rudy's Tires, with several locations across the area, there's always a Rudy's Tire location close by, and they can come to you even on the farm. Rudy's Tires brings to you Eastern Plains Sports Today every weekday on 1010 KSIR. Visit rudystire.com for more. The umpire goes out, breaks up the conference. Bases loaded for the Mustangs, 1 out. Top of the order for the Mustangs here in the top of the fifth inning. 1-1 game. Mustangs looking to break this game open. Sydney Regional Medical Center. Don't let an injury keep you out of the game. Learn more at Sydney Regional Medical Center at sydneyrmc.com. Dayton Diorio, the sign from Bamford, and pick off to second base, and everybody's back safely. Reset. Diorio, the offering, the pitch, outside corner, a strike to the left-handed hitting Cooper Chisholm. Chisholm with a bat on his shoulder. The pitch, and that ball hit out towards left field over Dempsey for a single, and 1 runner in, the second runner in. Mustangs with a 3-1 lead over the Mustangs on the single by Cooper Chisholm to left field. So the 2-run RBI on the hard line drive over Dempsey's extended glove. So runners at second, Angel Lopez and Cooper Chisholm at first. Isaiah Ortiz steps in. So Chisholm with a 1-out single, driving in 2. The pitch swung at and missed. Pitch up in his eyes. Isaiah Ortiz. Riley Elrick in the on-deck circle. Diorio, the pitch. That pitch is outside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Mustangs with 2 runs here in the top of the 5th inning to take a 3-1 lead. The pitch from Diorio, the pitch, and that ball fouled down the left field line. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Isaiah Ortiz. 1 for 2 on the day. Coach Langford giving encouragement, and that ball hit down the left field line. And that ball just foul, about a 1.5 foot foul. Coach Langford had his arm a-going and was going to bring the runner from second as well as first as that ball was hit down the left field line, but just foul. Umpire was calling it all the way. Coach Langford knew the ball, if fair, would be able to score 2 runs, the 1-2 pitch. And that ball outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Isaiah Ortiz. Lopez on at second, Chisholm on at first. The 2-2 pitch, and that ball popped up. Carrasco over. Garcia, first baseman, takes it for the out on the pop-up. Infield fly rule in effect.
2 outs. Up next to the plate for the Mustangs, number 13, Riley Elric.
So 2 outs in the inning, 2 runs in already, though, for the Mustangs. Riley Elric steps in. 3-1, Fort Morgan over Sterling. The pitch to Elric, a ball upstairs. The pitch from Diorio. The pitch, a strike at the knees. Inside corner of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fort Morgan with a 3-1 lead. Pitch from Diorio to Bamford, just outside. 2 balls and a strike. Just over 1 hour old. The game time. Pitch from Diorio, the pitch outside. Ball 3. B106 KPRB, Brush Fort Morgan. You're listening to B106.3 on the Eastern Plains Sports Network. The offering, the pitch, ball 4. Coach Langford had the runners going, but the pitch was out of the zone. Chase Prouty comes to the plate with the bases loaded. So bases loaded again for the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Lopez at third, Chisholm at second, Elric at first. Pitch to Prouty, a ball upstairs, out of the zone. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs, 2 runs in here in the top of the 5th inning. The pitch outside, and the throw down from Bamford to Garcia, safe at first, as Elric gets back into the bag. 2 balls, no strikes to Chase Prouty, the senior, the offering. That pitch upstairs. Dayton Diorio has no place to put him. Josh Langford gives a sign, hey, take. We'll take a base on ball. We'll take a run. The pitch from Diorio. Strike right down the pipe as Prouty was taking the whole way. 3 balls and a strike. If anything is close, Prouty's going to be swinging at this. The pitch upstairs, ball 4, walks in a run. So Fort Morgan with a 4-1 lead over the Sterling Tigers. Miguel Davila comes to the plate.
Up next for the Mustangs, number 6, Miguel Davila.
So Lopez comes in and scores on the base on ball to Prouty. Chisholm at third, Elric at second, Prouty at first, Miguel Davila, 0 for 2 on the day, steps in the play. The pitch is upstairs to Davila. Diorio having a hard time finding the zone at this point. 77 pitches on the day. 47 of those have been strikes. Bailey Mechanical, getting your house the right temperature is difficult. Call 970-522-0471. Let Bailey Mechanical go to work for you. Kasem Bamford went out and talked to his pitcher. Just make sure, hey, we're still on the same page here. Premier Farm Credit for over 100 years. They've been providing affordable, reliable, and consistent credit. Visit premieraca.com. Bamford the sign. Diorio the pitch. Strike outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike to Miguel Davila. Base hit will score a couple. Mustangs with 2 in the inning already. With 3 in the inning already. Mustangs with a 4-1 lead. That pitch was upstairs, and that pitch is just hit out to right center field, and it gets past the right fielder, and 1 run comes in and scores. Prouty jogs into third, and with that, Miguel Davila a double to right field. 2 more runs score. As the ball hit and then bounced past the right fielder. Jaden Carrera will come to the plate. 1 for 2 on the day. And we've got the pitching coach coming out in order to talk, or the head coach, Scott Diorio, to talk to his son as well as pitcher Dayton Diorio. Northeastern, where you're a traditional or non-traditional student. Looking for an associate's degree or a specialized certificate? Visit njc.edu. Looks like they are going to make a pitching change. So let's take a break. And while the pitcher comes in, Robbie Carrasco, in order to throw for the Sterling Tigers. We'll see where Dayton Diorio ends up going. But it looks like Robbie Carrasco is going to be the pitcher on the hill. And Diorio is going to go to shortstop. And Dempsey is going to go to second base. So for the Sterling Tigers, Gamalik in left, Ortega in center, Tyne is in right. Felzine at third, Diorio will go to shortstop, Memphis Dempsey to second base, Caleb Garcia remains at first base. Robbie Carrasco comes to the hill, and Kasem Bamford is still behind the plate. Robbie Carrasco comes to the mound with a 3.00 ERA, a 1-0 record, 7 innings pitched, 5 base on balls, 2 strikeouts in those 7 innings. So Robbie Carrasco is more of a pitch-to-contact pitcher. And Carrasco takes the hill for the Sterling Tigers. So let's see here. Dayton Diorio responsible for the 6 runs that have scored, plus the 2 runners on base in 4 2/3 innings. As Carrasco finishes up his warm-up tosses, we'll see a lot of off-speed pitches from Robbie Carrasco. Jaden Carrera will step in with runners at second and third. Fort Morgan Mustangs with 5 runs in the inning to open the game up. Mustangs with 6 runs on 7 hits. Sterling with 1 run on 3 hits. Sterling has committed 2 errors. Jaden Carrera, 1 for 2 on the day for your Mustangs. Kevin Fergus on the call at Sterling High School on B106 and Eastern Plains Sports Network. Christy Creighton running the board. Robbie Carrasco with the pitch. Jaden Carrera, the pitch, a strike, belt high, outside corner. Carrasco choosing to go from the stretch. Runners at second and third, not even checking the runners. Pitches upstairs to Jaden Carrera. 1 ball, 1 strike. 5 runs in here in the top of the 5th inning for the Mustangs. This is reminiscent of what they did on Tuesday when they faced Eaton, where they scored 6 runs in order to tie the game. That ball hit out to center field, and Aiden Ortega over to his left about 6 steps, hauls that in for the out. So Robbie Carrasco faces only 1 batter in order to get them out. So the Mustangs score 3 runs on 4 hits. There was 1 Sterling error, and the Mustangs end up leaving 2 runners on base. So after 4.5 innings, Fort Morgan 6, Sterling 1. You're listening to Mustang Baseball on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Fort Morgan with a 6-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Fort Morgan over the Sterling Tigers. The Mustangs looking to get their league win number 1. Mustangs come into the game 5-5. Look to get off the schneid in order to be able to have a 6-5 record. Sterling with a 4-1 record coming into the game. They had a 1. Their record in the league is 1-0. Everything is going to be topsy-turvy in the Patriot League. University was beat by Res Christian this last week. Eaton is going to be tough all the way around. So let's see here. Connor Gamalik steps in. Gamalik, the pitch to Gamalik, a ball. Gamalik, the left fielder, pitch hit towards the shortstop. Cooper Chisholm over to first, and base hit anyway. It was going to be an infield base hit as the ball was topped, not hit hard, towards the third base shortstop combination, and Chisholm picked it up but wasn't able to get it there in time. So Gamalik has the base hit. Aiden Ortega comes to the plate. So Sterling, after giving up 5 runs, gets their leadoff hitter in the bottom of the 5th inning on. Luis Hernandez, the pitch, and that ball fouled off to the right side. Luis Hernandez, good shape, pitch count, 57 pitches here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The pitch upstairs to Ortega. Count evens at 1. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Fort Morgan with a 6-1 lead over the Sterling Tigers. 3-step lead by Gamalik. Pitch from Hernandez upstairs. Ball 2, 2 balls and a strike. Three-step lead, and hey, let's see if we can get Gamalik at first. Hernandez wasn't even on the rubber. Throws over to first base. Urias put the tag on, but safe. 2 balls, 1 strike, nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Fort Morgan with a 6-1 lead at this point. The pitch, curveball, strike, 2 balls, 2 strikes to Aiden Ortega. Dayton DiOrio in the on-deck circle. Pitch low and in the dirt. Full count. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Gamalik on at first. Ortega, number 9 hitter. Top of the order, Dayton DiOrio awaiting. Hernandez, the sign from Elric, the pitch. And that pitch, ball 4. Just enough outside that Ortega did not offer.
Up next to the plate for the Tigers, number 28, Dayton DiOrio.
DiOrio flew out his last at bat to right field. So runners at first and second for the Tigers. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Tigers with the top of the order at the plate. We'll see what they get done here in this inning. The pitch from Hernandez. A pitch is a ball to DiOrio. So 1 ball, no strikes to the leadoff hitter, Dayton DiOrio. Runners at second, Gamalik. First, Ortega. And that ball over to shortstop. Picks it up, throws to first for the out. As the ball was topped.
Next up to the plate, number 2,
So
Memphis
6-3 on the putout. So runners at second and third. 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Memphis Dempsey steps in. Hernandez, the offering. Pitch, a strike. Letter high. Center cut. Dempsey shakes his head. Not really sure that was a strike, but I think Hernandez pulled the string and that had a little funky movement to it. That pitch from Hernandez, low and in the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike to Memphis Dempsey. Runners at second and third, 1 out. Count, 1 ball, 1 strike to Dempsey. Hernandez, the offering. Pitch, a ball, 2 balls and a strike. Scott DiOrio, the head coach for the Sterling Tigers in the third base coach's box. Just watching, not flashing signs. That ball hit out the left field, line drive, base hit. 1 run in, second run will come in. Dempsey will not take second as Fort Morgan cuts it off. So after Fort Morgan scores 5 runs in the top of the 5th inning to take a 6-1 lead, Sterling comes back and scores 2 in the bottom of the 5th inning in order to make the score 6-3.
To the plate, number 4, Kason Bamford.
So a runner at first. Kason Bamford is the hitter. Josh Langford out to talk to his infield. Talk to Luis Hernandez, find out how he's doing. 68 pitches on the day for Luis Hernandez. 39 of those are strikes, 28 balls. We're an hour and 20 minutes into the game. Temperature 81 degrees. It's beautiful sunshiny weather. Grass is greening up. Baseball is popping up everywhere. There's baseball just about on every field. Umpires are busy. Players are busy. It's a good time of the year. Rockies got their 3rd win yesterday. So Dempsey on at first, Bamford at the plate. Hernandez, the pitch. Strike. Right down the middle. Strike 1. Fort Morgan with a 6-3 lead over the Sterling Tigers. Fort Morgan scored 5 in the top of the 5th. Sterling has scored 2 in the bottom of the 5th. And pick off, Dempsey back in at first safely. Bamford 0 for 1 today. He walked his first at bat, struck out his last at bat. Pitch from Hernandez to Bamford. Pitches upstairs. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 2 runs in for the Tigers here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Memphis Dempsey leads off at first base. 1-step, 2-step, 3-step lead. Hernandez takes a look, the pitch, and that ball popped up. It's going to be enough in order to get out of play. Hernandez ahead in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ethan Felzine in the on-deck circle for the Sterling Tigers in the bottom of the 5th inning. Fort Morgan with a 6-3 lead and a pickoff at first. Dempsey back in safely. You know, we don't need to be throwing the ball around, guys. Dempsey, the 2-step, 3-step lead. Hernandez gets a sign from Elric. Pitch. Outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here to Kaysen Bamford. Sterling with 2 runs in the inning. Two RBIs for Memphis Dempsey. Pitch from Luis Hernandez to the plate. And that ball to third base. Davila picks it up, throws over to first base on the hop. Frank Urias picks it up for the out. Dempsey took off with the pitch, had the base stolen, but he moves up to second. So 5-3 on the putout.
Number 14.
On the hard grounder to Davila. 5-3 on the putout. Dempsey goes to second. Felzine at the plate. Carrasco in the on-deck circle. Hernandez, the pitch, 2 outs in the inning, and that ball hit out to center field. Angel Lopez has a beat on it, 4 steps to his left, grabs it, squeezes it for the out. For Sterling, they score 2 runs on 3 hits. There was no errors. There's 1 runner left on base. After 5 complete innings of play, Fort Morgan 6, Sterling 3. You're listening to Mustang Baseball on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Kevin Fergus with you at Sterling High School Field. Fort Morgan Mustangs with a 6-3 lead through 5 innings over the Sterling Tigers. Robbie Carrasco is on the hill for the Sterling Tigers as we go to the top of the 6th inning. Samson Ortega should be the hitter for the Mustangs.
Those 3 batters for the Mustang in the top of the 6th inning. Samson Ortega, Angel Lopez, and Frank Urias.
So Ortega comes to the batter's box, 0 for 1 on the day. He grounded out his first time, but he took a hit by pitch his last at bat. Mustangs with a 6-3 lead over the Sterling Tigers. Gamalik in left, Ortega in center, Tyne in right for the Tigers. Pitch from Carrasco. And that ball bunt down the third baseline, fair, and Felzine picks it up, throws over to first. Bang, bang play at first. 5-3 on the putout. Nice play by Felzine as he comes in, picks it up. and gets it to the first baseman in time for the out. Angel Lopez comes to the plate.
Number 1, Angel Lopez.
Carrasco faced the one hitter in order to get out of the top of the 5th inning after relieving Dayton DiOrio. The pitch, curveball outside to Angel Lopez. The offering, and that ball fouled up and over the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike. Carrasco peers over the top of his glove, brings the pitch, pulled the string, strike 2. Lopez did not offer at the pitch, peered as it was letter high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Carrasco the pitch, 1 hopper out to DiOrio. DiOrio mishandles it for the error. That's a 3rd error on the day for the Sterling Tigers. That ball was easily picked up by DiOrio, but he made the error. Frank Urias comes to the plate. Three-step lead for Lopez at first. We'll see what Coach Langford does. The first pitch to Urias, a strike. Inside part of the plate, belt high. As Langford flashes his signs to his charges, the batter as well as the runner at first. Carrasco, the pitch, and that ball hit out to center field. And center fielder Ortega hardly had to move. It's like the ball was hit right to him. So an out. Straight away center field.
Number 11, Cooper Chisholm.
Cooper Chisholm comes to the plate. Steps in from the left side. Carrasco, the pitch. Strike, caught the inside corner of the plate at the knee. 2 outs in the inning. Lopez on at first. Chisholm at the plate. That ball single towards right field, picked up. 1 base at a time as Lopez moves up to second. Chisholm trots down to first for the base hit.
Next to the plate for the Mustangs, number 2, Isaiah Ortiz.
Isaiah Ortiz comes to the plate. 1 for 3 on the day. Fort Morgan with a 6-3 lead, top of the 6th inning. Beautiful sunshiny day, blue sky, not a cloud to be seen. The pitch from Robbie Carrasco. On its way, curveball. Upstairs, ball 1. Carrasco gets a sign from Kasem Bamford. The 1-0 pitch. On its way, outside. 2 balls. No strikes to Isaiah Ortiz. Runners at first and second for the Mustangs. See if they can add to their lead here in the top of the 6th inning. The pitch, Carrasco, and that ball fouled at the plate. 2 balls and a strike. Game time, we're 1 hour and 30 minutes into this game. Fort Morgan with a 6-3 lead. Isaiah Ortiz, the pitch. Upstairs. 3 balls and a strike to Isaiah. Riley Elric in the on-deck circle. Carrasco taking his time. He's not anywhere as fast as what DiOrio was. DiOrio to get the ball on fire. Here's the pitch. Ball 4, bases loaded. Riley Elrick comes to the plate. Nobody's coming out of the Sterling Tiger dugout. Figured maybe they'd come out, bases loaded. Talk to their infielders, say, hey, we just need to get an out. Knock it down, get it to the closest base. But nothing. So bases loaded. Lopez at third, Chisholm at second, Ortiz at first. Pitch to Elrick, a strike at the knees. Carrasco, Bamford, and that ball fouled off the end of the bat by Elrick. So, no balls, 2 strikes to Riley Elrick. 1 for 2 on the day. He walked his last at bat. The pitch, strike 3. Right on the outside part of the plate. Perfect pitch. So no runs. There was 1 hit. There was 1 error. And there were 3 runners left on base. So after 5.5 innings of play, Fort Morgan 6, Sterling 3. You're listening to Mustang Baseball on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Pitching change here in Sterling, Colorado. Cooper Chisholm comes to the mound for your Mustangs. See if I can get everything lined out. Luis Hernandez gave up the 3 runs through his 5 innings pitched. Cooper Chisholm comes to pitch. And let's see, Jaden Carrera goes to shortstop. And I'm not sure who the left fielder is. Turnaround, number 7. That's Frank Urias is in left field. Jaden Carrera. And let's see, Kale Ocanis is at first base. See if I pick up any other changes here. I'm looking. And Luis Hernandez goes to third base. I think that might be all of our changes. So Fort Morgan with a 6-3 lead as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Fort Morgan looking to improve their record to 6-5, 1-1 in league. So I got Urias in left, Lopez in center, Ortega in right, Hernandez at third, Carrera at short, Ortiz at second, Kale Ocanis at first base, Cooper Chisholm on the hill, and Riley Elrick behind the plate. Robbie Carrasco comes to the plate. Pitch from Chisholm, low. Ball 1 to Robbie Carrasco. Carrasco 0 for 2 on the day. Seems like every time Carrasco faces brush, he's just a nail on their side. Pitch to Carrasco, a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cooper Chisholm working quickly. The offering, and the ball fell down the right field line, out of play. So Chisholm ahead in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bottom of the 6th inning, the pitch upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Robbie Carrasco. Ian Denning is on deck for the Tigers. The pitch, and that ball fouled out of play. Fort Morgan has a game tomorrow against Alameda. That's a home game at 11 o'clock. The pitch from Chisholm. Ball 4. Carrasco down to first. And I missed a pitch through that whole ordeal. And Carrasco, and so number 8 for the Tigers, Carter Bamford, courtesy runner, comes in to run for Robbie Carrasco. Ian Denning is at the plate. Carter Bamford at first. The pitch fouled to the screen. Ethan Tyne on deck. The 0-1 pitch, nobody out. And that ball fouled at the plate. Chisholm ahead in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. To Ian Denning, senior, 0 for 2 on the day. Pitch, and that ball fouled at the plate. Chisholm throwing strikes. Fort Morgan with a 6-3 lead, bottom of the 6th inning. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th. Runner at first, the ball grounded towards third base. Hernandez throws over to first base, O'Canis. Infield base hit. Hernandez did everything he needed to do, but Denning gets down the line quickly and legs out the infield single on the soft grounder towards Luis Hernandez at third. Ethan Tyne comes to the plate for the Tigers. Tyne flew out twice to left field, but runners at first and second, nobody out. Fort Morgan with a 6-3 lead over the Sterling Tigers, but Sterling has something cooking here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Connor Gamalik, the on-deck circle. Umpire taking care of changes. Cooper Chisholm, the sign from Elric, the pitch, low and in the dirt. Ball 1. Josh Langford steps out of the dugout, yells his play to the guys, and Cooper Chisholm turns off the rubber towards second base, throws to Jaden Carrera, but safe. Back in second is Carter Bamford, the courtesy runner. Ethan Tyne. The 1-0 pitch, strike at the knees, outside corner, 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Fort Morgan with a 6-3 lead. Sterling has something going here in that pitch. Curveball. Took a little bit off of it. Strike. Swung at the strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Ethan Tyne. Fort Morgan 6 runs, 8 hits. Sterling 3 runs, 6 hits. The pitch. A ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Ethan Tyne, senior for the Sterling Tigers. Flew out twice to the left fielder. 2-2 pitch, nobody out. The offering. Swung at and missed, strike 3. Wow, good job, Cooper Chisholm. Swung at that pitch just right over the top of it. 1 out in the inning. Connor Gamalik. Double down the line and a infield single. 2 for 2 on the day for Gamalik. The pitch from Chisholm, a ball, and pass ball by the catcher. And the runners move up to third and second. Denning at second. Carter Bamford at third. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Connor Gmalik at the plate. Josh Langford goes out and talks to his charges. 1 ball, no strikes to Gmalik. Miller's Landscaping, you put so much time, effort into your show animals, offering a wide range of livestock feed and supplies. Stop by 19645 County Road Q in Fort Morgan. Josh Langford still talking. Wiggins Electric, count on Wiggins Electric for quick, efficient, and courteous service to keep you up and running. They provide you with the service and products you need at your most critical time. Van Wyck Insurance from over 60 lines to help you find the right one to fit your budget. Stop in and see Van Wyck Insurance. Josh Langford, head coach for the Mustangs, back to the dugout. Here we go with Chisholm on the hill. Runners at second and third. Pitch, strike at the knees. Count evens at 1 to Connor Gmalik. Aiden Ortega on deck for the Tigers. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Just a little bit outside. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1, the count. Runners at second and third for the Tigers. The pitch from Chisholm took a little bit off. Ball fouled back into the screen. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Did you blink? Good. I was going to catch it for you. Ball was just to my right. The 2-2 pitch in the dirt. Full count. Chisholm, 21 pitches. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning, 12 strikes. First base is open, but you don't want to walk this guy. 3-2, the payoff pitch, the offering. And that ball hit out to left center field. 2 runs will come in and score. That's 4 RBIs for Gmalik. Is Gmalik single to left field. Gmalik had the 2-run double his last at bat in the 5th inning. Here in the 6th inning, he has a 2-run single.
Number 3, Aiden Ortega.
Gmalik hit everything on that. So Gmalik on at first. Score is now Fort Morgan 6, Sterling 5. 2 runs in the inning for the Tigers. The pitch, and that ball hit down the right field line and fair. And Gmalik is rounding third. They're going to stop him at third. And the runner at second didn't pick it up, and now they're going to get him in a pickle. So now Gmalik is going to be in the pickle at home, and they're going to tag out Gmalik at home plate. So we go 9-4 to 5-2 for the putout on the single by Aiden Ortega.
Up next to the plate for the Tigers, number 28, Nick Diorio.
Dayton Diorio comes to the plate. Two outs in the inning, but 2 runs did score on the Gmalik hit to make it 6-5. Runner at second, 2 outs in the inning. Diorio fouls that out of play down the right field line. Wasn't bad base running by Gmalik, but it was Ortega who missed the coach stopping Gmalik coming around third, and he got halfway between second and third, and then Gmalik ended up getting in the pickle, and he ended up getting put out. So Ortega on at second. Pitch to Diorio, a ball, 1 ball, 1 strike. Chisholm the pitch, and that ball hit towards third base. Hernandez picks it up, throws over to first. Ocanis, and the throw ended up pulling Ocanis off the bag. Umpire called safe. He pulled his foot. Josh Langford's going to ask for him to check with the first base or the home plate umpire. Umpires are going to get together. And both umpires are in agreement that he pulled his foot. So it was an error on the throw by Hernandez.
Diorio safe at first. Up next to the plate, number 2, Memphis.
So runners at first and third. Memphis Dempsey to the plate. 2 for 3 on the day. Josh Langford not happy with the umpires here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Fort Morgan's clinging to a 6-5 lead. 2 outs in the inning. That ball was hit to Hernandez. Hernandez threw to first. O'Canis did have to stretch in order to be able to reach for that ball and did come off the bag, but whether he was still on the bag before the runner touched or not, that was the question. The umpires ruled he did. So runners at first and third, and Diorio on the pickoff to first, back safely. Dempsey to the plate, 2 for 3 on the day with 2 singles and a flyout sandwiched in between. So Ortega at third, Diorio at first, Dempsey at the plate, and a passed ball as that ball went under the 5-hole for Riley Elrick, and the game is tied. Pitch was a ball, but Ortega comes home on the passed ball, and Diorio goes to second. So 1-0 to Memphis Dempsey, and now we've got the automatic 4 pitches, and Dempsey down to first, so we've got to force all the way around first, second. Base runners, so we got to force out at first, second, or third. Kasem Banford comes to the plate. 6-6. Fort Morgan and Sterling tied up in the bottom of the 6th. 2 outs in the inning. Diorio at second, Dempsey at first. .30 pitches for Chisholm. 16 strikes, 14 balls. Chisholm the pitch, and that ball fouled back into the screen. No balls and a strike to Bamford, the hitter, the pitch, and that ball lined out to left field. A base hit, and they're going to send the runner at third, and he comes in and scores. Diorio scores, and on the throw, the runners go to second and third. So on the Bamford single to left field between the third baseman and the shortstop, hard grounder. So the Tigers with a 7-6 lead over the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Ethan Falzine to the plate. 0 for 3 on the day. But the Sterling Tigers with a 7-6 lead. Riley Elrick is going to go out and talk to his pitcher. Just make sure they're on the same page. Sarah Boone Farm Bureau. Sarah Boone and with Farm Bureau Insurance here to help. You deserve more. You deserve a promise. Wiggins Electric. Count on Wiggins Electric for quick, efficient, and courteous service to keep you up and running. They provide you with the service and products you need at your most critical time. So runners at second and third for the Sterling Tigers as they've scored 4 in the bottom of the 6th inning to take a 7-6 lead over the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Falzine hits the ball out to left field on the first pitch, and that ball carries. Home run. Wow. So on the first pitch that Falzine sees from Cooper Chisholm, hits a home run to left center field. So Sterling, 7 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning, take a 10-6 lead over the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Wow. Robbie Carrasco will come to the plate. Carrasco, relief of Dayton DiOrio, in line in order to get the win for the Sterling Tigers. Sterling faces Brush Beet Diggers tomorrow in Brush at 11 o'clock. That game will be brought to you on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. The first pitch to Robbie Carrasco, a strike, belt high, inside part of the plate. Sterling with 7 runs, bottom of the 6th inning. Pitch upstairs to Carrasco, 1 ball, 1 strike. Chisholm working quickly. That pitch, a strike. Ahead in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes to Carrasco. 2 outs in the inning. Nobody on base as Ethan Felzine, the cleanup hitter, cleaned it up. Hit it over the left field fence for the home run. 3-run home run for Ethan Felzine. Carrasco, the 1-2 pitch in the dirt. Ball 2, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sterling with 10 runs, 10 hits. Fort Morgan, 6 runs, 8 hits. Pitch from Chisholm, a ball, full count to Carrasco. Jaden Carrera comes in, talks to his pitcher, just say, hey, full count. We just need to take care of this one guy. Let's get out of here and let's get back to the dugout so we can score some runs. A pitch, the full count. Ball hit out towards second base. 3-hopper over to first base. The out. So from Isaiah Ortiz over to Cale O'Canis. 4-3 on the putout. But for the Sterling Tigers, they score 7 runs on 5 hits. There was 1 Fort Morgan error. There was nobody left on base. So after 6 complete innings of play, Sterling's 10, Fort Morgan 6. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustang Baseball on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. I wasn't counting on that at all, Christy. Fort Morgan Mustangs trail the Sterling Tigers 10-6 as we go to the top of the 7th inning. Sterling scored 7 runs on 5 hits that inning. That was a wow inning is what it amounted to. Chase Prouty will lead off for the Mustangs here as we go to the bottom of the top of the 7th inning. Prouty 1 for 2 on the day. Reached base 2 out of 3 times. He had a single and he's been on base all 3 times. Single, reach base via the air, and then the walk. Robbie Carrasco stands on the hill, poised in order to get the W for the Tigers. And then Scott DiOrio, once everybody's set, ready to go, comes out and says, hey, this is something I want to tell the umpire. Looks like maybe he ended up moving somebody around defensively. Looks like Felzine still at third, DiOrio at second, Dempsey at second, Garcia at first. Unless he put in a different outfielder, and I'm not going to be able to see their numbers from here. So anyway, Josh Langford, third base coach's box for the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Chase Prouty at the plate, 1 for 2 on the day. Cale O'Canis in the on-deck circle. Fort Morgan has a game in Fort Morgan tomorrow at 11 o'clock against Alameda, the 9-2 Alameda team. Pitch from Carrasco. A strike at the knees to Chase Prouty. Carrasco working quickly, and that ball fouled up and over the screen. So Prouty down on the count, no balls, 2 strikes. Carrasco, the 0-2 pitch, outside, ball 1. Carrasco, the sign from his catcher, Kasem Bamford. Strike 3, outside corner of the plate. Bat was still on Prouty's shoulder. Wow. That pitch just caught the outside corner for the first out in the inning.
Number 6, Miguel Davila.
Kale O'Connor comes to the plate, hits from the left side, the sophomore for the Mustangs playing first base. B106, KPRB, Brush, Fort Morgan. Robbie Carrasco, the pitch, outside to the left-handed hitting Kale O'Connor. Fort Morgan is going to have to find some runs here. That pitch from Carrasco, a strike at the knees to Kale O'Connor. Pitch from Carrasco, a ball. Two balls and a strike. O'Connor with an open stance. Facing Carrasco, the offering. Pitch inside. 3 balls and a strike to Kale O'Connor. Three balls and a strike, 1 out in the inning. And that ball swung at and missed by O'Connor. Brings the count full. Payoff pitch from Robbie Carrasco is on its way, and that ball fouled out of play. Carrasco, the pitch, and that ball tapped foul towards the Sterling dugout along the first baseline. So O'Connor staying alive with 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. Pitch from Carrasco, the full count, and that ball popped up a mile high. And Diorio out to short left field, hauls it in for the out. For the second out, Fort Morgan down to their last out of the game.
Up to the plate next for the Mustangs, number 5, Jaden Carrera.
Jaden Carrera comes to the plate. 1 for 3 on the day. Carrera flew out to center field his last at bat. The pitch from Carrasco, outside corner. A strike. Fort Morgan 2 outs. They're down to their last out. They're down to their last 2 strikes as that pitch was a strike on the outside corner. Fort Morgan was ahead in this game 6-1, and now they're behind 10-6. Pitch to Carrera, a ball. That pitch just inside. 2 balls and a strike to Jaden Carrera. Carrasco gets a sign from Bamford, the pitch, and that ball fouled out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fort Morgan down to their last strike here in the top of the 7th inning. Sterling with a 10-6 lead. The pitch, and that ball is low and away. Full count to Jaden Carrera. Sterling with 2 in the 5th inning and 7 in the 6th inning in order to take the 10-6 lead. And that ball in the dirt. So Carrera walks. Samson Ortega comes to the plate with a runner at first. So Fort Morgan's still alive. They're down to their last out, but we'll see what happens as this unfolds. Samson Ortega, 0 for 2 on the day. He was also hit by a pitch, so he's been on base once. Carrasco from the stretch, the offering. That ball outside. Ball 1. Pitch is low and in the dirt. 2 balls, no strikes. This is the hardest for a pitcher. You got the wind just waiting right there for you, but you still got to throw strikes. And that pitch, a strike at the knees. 2 balls and a strike to Samson Ortega. The 2-1 offering from Carrasco upstairs. 3 balls and a strike. Jaden Carrera for the Mustangs on at first base. So 3-1 to Ortega. Carrasco gets a sign from Bamford. The 3-1 pitch, and that ball fouled up into the screen. Count goes full. Full count, 2 outs. Make sure the pitcher goes to the plate, and Carrera will be off with the pitch, the offering, and that ball hit out left center field, and the ball is caught by the center fielder, Aiden Ortega, for the 3rd out. He made a nice play. He had to go down to his knees in order to be able to grab it, but for the Mustangs, no runs, no hits. There were no errors, 1 runner left on base. Sterling Tigers beat the Fort Morgan Mustangs 10-6. We'll take a break. We'll come back and we'll wrap things up here in Sterling. But the Tigers beat the Mustangs 10-6. You're listening to Mustang Baseball on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. The Fort Morgan postgame show is brought to you by Advanced Agri Solutions. Get a full plan of seed, food, and water for your field. Now is the time to begin your planning for next year's growing season. Call Dusty or Roxy at 970-571-2024. The Sterling Tigers score 2 in the 5th and 7 in the 6th inning after the Mustangs scored 5 in the 5th inning. So they scored 9 runs in the last 2 innings in order to take the victory over the Fort Morgan Mustangs. The line score for Sterling, 10 runs, 10 hits, 3 errors, 4 runners left on base. For Fort Morgan, 6 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors, and they leave 7 runners on base. That didn't work. That didn't work the way I was wanting it to. Yes, we'll go here. For Sterling, or for Fort Morgan pitchers, Luis Hernandez went 5 innings, and in those 5 innings, he struck out 5 and walked 2. Cooper Chisholm came in and pitched in the 6th inning and gave up all the 7 runs. And in that 1 inning, Cooper Chisholm struck out 1, and he gave up 5 hits and walked 2. So that was basically the undoing for the Mustangs, was the 7th inning. But nonetheless, Sterling was able to put bat on ball in order to make things work. For the Mustangs, Chisholm went 2 for 4, scored a run. Ortiz 1 for 3, Elric 1 for 3, and scored 2 runs. Prouty was 1 for 3. Miguel Davila 1 for 3. Jaden Carrera 1 for 3 and scored a run. Samson Ortega scored a run. Angel Lopez was 1 for 3 and scored a run for Fort Morgan's 8 hits. For Sterling, Dayton DiOrio in the 4 2/3 innings gave up 5 earned runs. And in those 5 earned runs, he had 4 strikeouts, gave up the 7 hits, and gave up 2 base on balls. Robbie Carrasco comes in and gets the victory. And in the 2 1/3 innings for Carrasco, did not give up any runs, had 2 strikeouts, gave up a hit, and had 2 base on balls. For Sterling, Gamalik is the hero for the day. He was 3 for 3, scored 2 runs, and had 2 RBIs. Memphis Dempsey had 2 RBIs as well, as he was 2 for 3. And Aiden Ortega was 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored. So Sterling just put everything together in the 5th and the 6th inning after Fort Morgan had taken a 6-1 lead, and then 9 unanswered for the Tigers. So Sterling Tigers moved to 5-1 on the season. They're 1-1 in league. They play the Brush Bee Diggers tomorrow at 11 o'clock. That game will be on KSIR 1010 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. The Mustangs fall to 0-2 in league, and their record overall 5-6. The sound engineer and producer of Fort Morgan Mustang Baseball is Christy Creighton. I'm Kevin Fergus with the final score, Sterling 10, Fort Morgan 6. You've been listening to Fort Morgan Mustang Baseball on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.